Good evening, everybody, and welcome on a Thursday night to episode 127 of So What's Been Happening. Starting to tick along now. We just pushed over 100. It felt like not long ago, and 27 flying by. So we've got probably another 10 or 15 shows in the pipeline being discussed at the moment. So it's great signs for the future. There's plenty on in the next couple of weeks out there, so make sure you get out and see a band, most importantly. And sad news kind of came across the waves during the week that it looks like the Bendigo is going to close its doors after all this time, which is a little bit sad. So unfortunately, we can't save them all like we did with the Tote. So make sure you get to see a gig, hopefully there in the next couple of weeks. I know they're going to put on a few gigs in the next couple of weeks before the end of March. So please get out and try and support the Bendigo. I've had so many great gigs there over the years. But this week, Saturday, the boys from Fleeting Persuasion are playing at the Last Chance on Saturday. I think it's Saturday. So we will chat about that one shortly. All right, just a couple of quick gigs before we kick off with the boys from Fleeting Persuasion. Friday night, an up-and-coming band, Full Flower Moon Band. Make sure you get along and see these guys at Northcote Social Club. These guys are getting big, so make sure you get them before you can't get a ticket. It's selling fast. There's not many tickets left, so get along to that one. And then Saturday afternoon, if you can't make it, or my suggestion is you get to Fleeting Persuasion first, get there, and if you can't get there, please get across the other side of town, across to Brunswick Artist Bar, and check out Cold Irons Bound with Little Faiths as well, friends of ours for the show. So there's 2 gigs to get your weekend off and roaring. So, all right, Fleeting Persuasion. We will chat to the boys now. We've been lucky enough to be joined by James Harrison and Toby Doctor. Let's have a chat to the boys, bring them up, and let's see what's going on. Boys, welcome to episode 127 of So What's Been Happening.
It's so great to be here. We can't believe how many you've done. That's amazing.
That's really cool, man. Very cool.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit bizarre how it all transpired or took off in the first place. It was a job kind of born in COVID. We were literally just having a chat to a couple of mates and ended up going live one day, which we had no idea what we were doing. And we literally got a music mate on, and we talked about how shit it was in a current situation, given the fact that obviously the musos got floored overnight, and they were probably going to be the last to come back, sadly. And I'm sure you guys have been part of that journey along the way. So 127 episodes later, we kind of got some good feedback that we should continue to talk to artists and talk to bands and talk to all sorts of people about life, what's going on in their life, because you never know who's listening. So, and just on that, before we bring you up, shout out to a good friend of ours, 5 a.m. in Canada in the morning, boys. So they've got up early.
Hats off.
That guy there, Robert Wine, he's an incredible story in himself, but he always checks in on so many podcasts and shows and gives so much support. So thanks, Robert, for checking out the boys from Fleeting Persuasion. Boys, you got a new fan.
Brad.
Take as many as we can.
Brilliant. No, but that's so much work you would have done, man. 127 episodes. that's surely I'm impressed. Well, that's awesome. It's really
Yeah,
well.
it's
More to come by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, look, it's very similar to 120 gigs, I suppose, for you guys. So it's like we just talked about kind of backstage a little bit before. They're kind of live gigs these days because you never know who's watching, you never know who's listening. 95% unpaid, and you just do it for love. So it's
I
kind of the
reckon
new
we've done about 8 gigs in the last 4 years. So
Probably.
yeah, we're not many physical gigs these days, but
Yeah,
we'll take them where we can too.
Yeah. Well, thanks both of you for joining us. All right, let's go back a little bit, as probably as early as you can remember your earliest memory of music in the house. How, roughly kind of 4 or 5 years old. What was on the record player?
Stereo, yeah. For me, it was a whole lot of Elvis.
That's cool.
Because my dad was an Elvis impersonator, and still kind of is at the ripe old age of 75 or 76. So I saw a lot of him perform that as well, which was quite hilarious at like church banquets and Elvis competitions. So, and coupled with that, he was a big Buddy Holly fan and Rolling Stones. And all the rock and roll, AC/DC, there was a ton of that. My dad, but he also liked some Cilla Black, and like he loved a lot of kind of weird one-hit wonders that I kind of came to sort of love and take on a little bit myself, I guess. And which was great. And on the other side, my mum played. Was a piano player, and so there was a lot of classical music in the house, a lot of Mozart, a lot of Beethoven. So between the two of them, it was a real mix, and it was always a bit of even a little bit competitive with who got to play what on the stereo. And then my big sister kind of just got really into pop music and lots of Madonna, and so I grew up around a lot of pop, a lot of rock, and a lot of classical. Yeah, how about you, Toby?
Yeah, like Joni Mitchell was in the house. I don't know if I was 5 when I noticed that. Probably, I'm 10 or 12. I remember Joni Mitchell, the Eagles, some Billy Joel my dad was into, like early Billy Joel, stuff like that. But so there was music in the house. It wasn't crazy, but yeah, there was music in the house. But I was, ask any of my friends, I was a super late bloomer. I don't have any hits 89, 87 tapes because I didn't get into anything until I was about 18. So I've got none of those where you cringe, but also go, oh, that was awesome. I remember getting to that compilation tape when I was 16, 15, 13. It was music in the house, but I was just, I don't know. Maybe I was just dormant, like, just in a coma. I don't know. But I didn't get into music myself until I was about 17 or 18 myself. But yeah, it was in the house, you know what I mean? So
yeah, sure.
Just like bloomer myself.
And the first kind of music that really influenced you after that, as far as like into your teens, and what did you really kind of listen to when it was when it was your time to buy some music?
I got dragged into because once I started listening to music a little bit at, I don't know, 17, 18, pretty quick. I don't know how. Like I ended up with a drum kit because I must have been like, oh, I play drums or something, Dad. I never had any lessons, but he bought me a kit, just a cheapie, because he's not going to spring money like, oh, we'll see how this fad goes. And I ended up getting some kids, friends of mine now, were a year below me in high school, and they were into heavier stuff like Celibate Rifles and punk rock, like real extreme, like Discharge and bands like that. And once I started rehearsing, and then they had a gig really early. I mean, at this point, I'm probably 21, right? But I'm just mucking around with friends, and I didn't like the music, but I was addicted to, playing a show. I was like, this is awesome. Okay, I'll stay in your band. So I was in full extreme hardcore music for the first half of my 20s, like really extreme. But meanwhile, I go home and listen to Susie and the Banshees or The Cure. I got right into them for years. Pretty much them, bit of Joy Division, all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for me, yeah. I remember coming home one day and actually my mum came home and she had like 12 Cure CDs because there was this couple at church that, like a married couple that had doubles of like every Cure album. So I think one of them, her name was Lindy. She was like, she got whiff that I was getting into. I was probably about 17, 18. That I was getting into them, and so I think I was homesick one day. Mum came and she was like, "Yeah, Lindy's just giving you like all these CDs," and it was literally like their whole back catalogue.
That's cool.
All in one hit. So that kind of set me up for a couple of years of obsession of that. But yeah, going back a little bit to early teens, it was definitely like Smashing Pumpkins. Like, it was one of the first concerts I went to. Got really into Melancholy and Adore, those albums. Really kind of struck a chord early on. But and then I got into a bit of busking, and so of course I would trawl like the internet of just songs I could learn, from like Oasis and Radiohead and all that kind of stuff. And but I remember, again, like going back to sort of my dad, I'd really latch on to like individual songs from like so many different artists, and so I'd just make all these like mixed CDs all the time. Like I was on the old Nero, I think it was, burning CDs all the time of just random songs, and I would tape a lot off the radio, top 40, Ugly Phil, countdown type stuff. Just got right into the whole feeling and discovery of finding music that sort of struck a chord, I guess. So,
kids don't realise how hard that journey was. Finding music, trying to record it, get it on a CD or a tape.
That's the richness of it.
Correct.
I loved it. Yeah, it was great.
And hope the announcer didn't spoil it at the start or at the end of the song as you were recording.
I know, I had so many like half songs on these tapes, like. So for years and years, like I remember taping certain songs and just never hearing the first half of it, because I would always have like taped just it's playing, like I'd quickly press record, and it'd be like one day, I'd hear the whole song and I'd be like, oh wow, so that's how like the first verse sounds. Never heard it.
I think that was an amazing part of the radio. Is I remember getting my first vinyls and listening to some of the songs, and there was all this stuff at the start of the song and all this stuff at the end of the song that was normally cut out by the radio, because it was either the song was too long or they didn't want to do that intro, and you were halfway through into the action, so you missed a bit of magic. It was very different. Instruments, boys. When did obviously you mentioned Toby, drums were kind of one of your you kind of fell into drums really by the sound of it. But was there anything else that kind of got in your hands in amongst, your late teens and into, say, I don't know, 30-ish?
Well, for me, it was all drums until I was so basically from 21 to 28, that's all I did in a couple of bands that got big in certain small scenes, hardcore punk scenes, that sort of stuff. And then, I was at 28. I just started. I bought a little guitar, whatever. Started doing that, playing bass, but it was all drums. And then, I can't play guitar or bass, but I can sit there and make stuff up and write. Or if you play me some chords, I think, oh, this sounds good with that. I've had lessons. I've just got a bit of an ear, so I can't stand up and play you a bunch of chords, but I can make stuff and go, I can write. You know what I mean? So. But mostly it was drums, but I can find my way around a guitar or a bass or a 6-string, a bass 6 or anything like that. That sort of stuff. No worries, But again,
what about you, James?
Yeah, me. I did a bit of violin as like a 5 or 6-year-old. It was not thrusted upon me, but it was probably just kind of given to me and said, "Play this." Like. Can't remember how that came about, but I think I gave it couple of years, and I wish I'd kept it up. I think I just lost interest. Like, wanted to kick the footy and do other stuff. Music, it's sort of like I didn't think about wanting to play music so much. I wasn't really that interested till a lot later, and I think I even learned a bit of piano. I wish I'd taken up my mum for more lessons as well. Don't know why I didn't do that, but I actually tried to get out of class, and I said, Mum, like, can you teach me so I can get out of class? So in grade 6 or 5 or 6 in primary school, my mum taught at my school, and I think I did about 2 or 3 lessons with her, and then everyone clued on that I was just trying to get out of class, and I'd just sit there with my mum and pretend to have a lesson, and she would I think she kind of clued in as well after a couple of goes that this isn't what I was signing up for, really. I don't know, that was very cheeky for me to do that looking back, but music, and then I was like, oh yeah, I think I tried a bit of guitar lessons as well in primary school, and I just didn't like the feeling of really being shown much, and so I sort of just returned back to it. I reckon around 15 or 16, I just started writing a lot of poems in school, and I was like, these could be lyrics, and so I think that's how I sort of went back to guitar, because as a bit of a avenue of where to put these words, I guess, that I was sort of scribbling down in school. And as I said, it kind of went from there. I started just doing a bit of busking and playing at random birthday parties and wherever the opportunity came.
We have such opposite arcs. I was in a coma till I was about 18.
Yeah, two very different worlds there colliding.
I think a lot of it was just being a sponge, I think, and I still feel that way, actually. A lot of it's just, I don't even play that much just for the sake of it. I feel like a lot of it's just, you take so much of what you're listening to and living through, and you just pick up the instrument when you feel like you've got an idea or just some inspiration comes. But yeah, that's what I love about it. It's always kind of there to come back to.
Yeah, and it's kind of touched on songwriting as an early youngster. It was kind of a bit more of a poem, I suppose, outpouring of words and emotions or feelings at the time. Is that kind of still how it is for you, or is it another course or path you go about now? How you do your songwriting?
Yeah, I think I just remember really like getting my first Zoom like 4-track and
Zoom.
Yeah. And just being really enthralled by that. I think initially I was using it to like bootleg at gigs, actually. I remember just like wanting to be like capture like gigs, like the live experience. And so I think initially I got it to do that, and then I was like, I should really be using this to like record as well. So I started just plonking it in the bathroom and hitting record, and I really just got caught up in the whole idea of just being able to like capture something and like layer something over that. And I still just feel like, yeah, now it's like, Toby and I can kind of bounce things off each other with this, especially with this album. Like, it's a similar process where you just, when you capture something, you like pass it on, and Toby's just had so many great ideas to add to the songs. And so it's actually brought back a lot of excitement doing this album. It's that same sort of feeling actually of like growing up. And when I first started writing, I kind of got a bit addictive, and you're like, wow, could do this more,
All right, we're going to touch on the new album when they come back. Will they come back? Sorry. Interesting title. We'll talk about that one in a second. But
when they come back, it'll be a much happier album.
Knowing they'll return.
When they come back. Wonderful.
Yeah, it was a bit obvious of me hoping that they were definitely coming. It was just a matter of when, but now it's a case of will that's an interesting conversation in itself. But you've been nice enough to offer us to play us a tune with the acoustic tonight. So let's break it up with a bit of that.
Sure.
What do you got for us?
Well,
Recess.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
I could do that. I was singing Etched because I haven't played these songs much on acoustic actually, so a lot of I use capo a lot, so I can't reach a lot of the chords for some of the songs. But yeah, I'll do Etched, which is track 2.
That's the first one we released.
First one we released off the record. So yeah, here we go. Can I just quickly tune? Sorry.
He can.
Toby, talk while I do
tune
that.
He'll tune up a storm, I tell you.
You can tell us about Etched a bit.
I can tell you about making videos. It's a horrible affair. It's tedious and horrible. Just horrible.
Well, for this video for Etched, we had our friend Adam do an animation clip.
Yeah.
Which was really cool.
Yeah, he made that for this,
this song. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about Toby. Tell us a little bit about the cover for Etched first. Here it is, and it sits behind me tonight as well.
Yeah, well, I've often for years, play around with Photoshop or whatever. No, I don't know the pro. Just it's fun, just like drawing to me. You make up a picture or whatever. So I said to James, I'll do some stuff, and it just came to mind. I had that fantastic photograph of that young child, which is my daughter. Just happened to have it. Like, ooh, and then if something floats around in your head, you think that'd be a great picture. And then I just wanted to go with some very, very old-fashioned colors, like that color palette of that particular green and that off-white. You know what I mean? Like, you don't see those colors often. And I wanted to try and put that in a few of the things we did, just for it to stand apart. And I just like that aesthetic. It's a real 1950s to early 60s England kind of set of colors. You know what I mean? It's probably aping Smith's cover artwork a bit, maybe, with a picture of a person, then a very basic. But I don't know. It's, same as making songs. There's some nice imagery, and it seems to sit well with the mood of the song.
Yep. All right, here we are with Etched.
Yeah. So for the record, I've tuned this guitar 4 times tonight. So anyway, I think we're there.
Places we would go. Let's ride here. It pulls me back. Don't want to get close. Someone to get close. Someone to get close. Someone to let go. don't want to let go. Don't want to get close.
Very nice, mate. Fantastic. Thank you. And a great bit of camera work there by Toby in the background.
Yeah, a bit of panning.
Couldn't help it. Just some mellow panning. Couldn't help it.
Absolutely. That's always good. Well done. Always good to have someone moving some camera angles. Thanks,
That's
boys.
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so etched. It's a strong word in its title itself, but just tell us a little bit about that song and when that kind of came as far as this new album. When did that one kind of lock into the set?
Yeah, I think look, it's all a bit blurry, but there was a batch of songs and kind of just stumbled across a little bit of a cool tuning that I slightly varied from standard, and I just kind of liked these chords and these sounds that was resonating out, and I think initially it was just like a whole bunch of chords and riffs and progressions that sort of sat there, and like I was like, I think it just sort of felt like a bit of a, you know, like a series of songs that just felt really locked in together a little bit, and that I think that one kind of excited me the most because it just felt like the riff at the start just felt really exciting, and I think it was all on the acoustic initially, and then when I plugged it into the to the electric through an amp, it was like cool, chuck a bit of chorus, and felt even more exciting, like sort of sparkly and jangly, and yeah, I just started sending songs to Toby, and it was around about it was a couple of years ago now. Yeah. Like we've been.
He sent a batch.
Yeah.
I just pick the ones that I thought, oh, that's cool. That's got me thinking of various ideas or whatever the case is. This is the drum beat will do. Oh, here's a bass line for this, or here's another guitar part, or you know what I mean? And that became the one that got developed the quickest. You know, that just happens, I'm sure, with everyone. You go, oh, this one we went down the road further than the other one, so let's keep going with that. And we've got these other ones to work, you know, that sort of thing. So it's pretty dynamic, that song, that particular song musically. Do you know what I mean? The verse is very, very laid back, and then it gets very dense for the pre-chorus, and the chorus opens up again. So it's a very up-down kind of, at least in dynamics, kind of song, you know.
All right, well, just so everyone gets a bit of a feel, we touched on kind of the animated clip before, so I want to kind of give everyone a little bit of taste of Fleeting Persuasion with Etched and the official actual video. So we'll play a minute or so of that.
Awesome.
Get into it.
Yeah.
There you go. You'll have to jump on YouTube and check out the rest of that clip. But it's really cool. Stop motion. Geez, there's a lot of work in that. Who's the brains behind that?
Adam Walsh. Yeah, Adam Walsh did that. And I met him through like a friend, Trevor, who was in a band called Charm with, and he was like, "You got to meet this guy, Adam. He's like a big Bluebottle Kiss fan. You guys would hit it off." And I met him at like a backyard gig that we used to do in like 2009 onwards, at my friend Trevor's house. And so Adam and I just kind of kept in touch, mainly just through just sort of seeing each other at gigs, like every now and then. And I just kind of found out through his friend Darren that he'd been doing some stop motion, and he did a clip for a band called Junior Fiction, I think they're called. And that was like his first full video clip. The rest were like sort of short, sort of sample type stuff. But I got enough like of a watch to kind of know that, like it felt like it would be a really cool thing.
There'd be so much work to make one of those.
I think he spent a year on it. Like he quit his job and just basically did that for so long. Like obviously not non-stop, but he spent a lot of time on it.
If you've ever played around with stop motion and the idea behind it, basically a series of photos, moving the little animation every time in another photo, it's insane amount of work. So to pull it off for 4.5 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, and I said to him, like, take as long as you need, because I think at that point we'd done the song, but you know, we weren't in a huge hurry to release it. We were like, well, let's just get the rest of the album done. Like Toby was super busy with all the other tracks. So we were like, we were eager to get it out, but I think it was just, I thought that'd be a cool song. And Adam really went to town with the storyline and like really listened to the song and asked me a lot of questions about it, like what it conjured up and where it sort of came from. And that helped him form the storyline for the video, and kind of went beyond what I'd imagined. And so when he wrote me like this big paragraph of what it was going to be sort of about, I was like, make it, dude. Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, so much time.
Did such a good job. And it got played on Rage, which was really cool. And so Toby didn't stay up, but I stayed up to about 3 a.m. and I was like, this is cool.
Yeah, I meant to touch on Rage because very much your clips, I can see all of them very much sitting in that, or the 4 kind of main ones that I've seen. They're very much sitting in that Rage. All different eras of Rage, to be perfectly honest.
Well, Toby's sort of taken over as director now, so it's cool.
I started doing that because I didn't know about the Etch clip, and now, cool, great. And then I don't know. I hadn't even thought. I was doing all the mixing bits and whatever, and I hadn't even thought about, you need to make a video clip. But you do, because what I hear people say now, and I'm no judgment, it's just what it is, did you see the latest from such and such band? They don't even use the word here. Again, I don't place a value judgment. It's just the world, right? It's all very screen and fine, or whatever it is. I realize, well, if you want, you got to throw your hat in the ring, and some people will hear your music, then you need something for them to click on it. Otherwise, they'll turn off sooner. So we just started making. But the reason they look like lots of different eras of Rage is because, and I'm not going to say what from. I'm like, right, for this song, I reckon that'll be cool. For Still Dark, the one we did before this latest single, Faded, I'm going to make a video that looks like that one that I really liked. That would be cool. And I just totally aped and ripped off to my total amateur ability. Like, we'll make it look like that clip. Faded's not. Faded had some colors. I was like, I'll just go for this. But the Still Dark one is a total rip of a New Order video clip style. I was like, I'll do that. But anyway, it's not really, but
You got to reference something in everything these days.
Absolutely. So for all you New Order fans, I want to picture this one in your mind and see where you can tie these two together. We're going to play a little bit.
Let's have a trivia, like which New Order clip. Get back to us.
It's probably too.
We'll be back to you in a sec. There you go. There's another one. Still dark.
We were just critiquing it.
I would have changed this. I would have changed that. But it's very much, I've got you guys almost a rage bit of moment here. Watching some clips, sitting on the couch on a Thursday night.
Totally. Right.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. Thanks for giving us a bit of your time tonight for sure.
No,
all right, guys, let's talk about the gig, up and coming gig coming up. Let's throw that in the middle. We've got a Saturday Arvo gig.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about it at the Last Chance.
Last Chance Bar and Rock and Roll Bar in North Melbourne. It's just opposite the Vic Market. Yeah.
It's such a good venue. I love that place.
Yeah, we love it. We did like an Arvo gig supporting Sarah Stockholm from Brisbane sometime last year, and we just really enjoyed it. It kind of had a good vibe that day, and
it's heaps padded. Any room where there's heaps of curtains and carpet, it's great. There's no break. It's just you can play a bit louder. You know what I mean? You don't want any hard surfaces, and there's a few venues like where I just won't go near. Like it's great. And I love room. Do you know it? The Last Chance.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That you go in the room and so you can't see the street, so you're in your own little world. That's what I like. Old bars like that, because once you go in that main section, tote as well. When you get into any bar where you kind of feel like it's just its own little cave, fantastic.
Time just disappears, doesn't it?
Exactly, and you're just ensconced in that scenario, and it's just cool.
Yeah,
and the staff there are lovely, and they are at most of these places. Everyone's just wonderful and accommodating and all that sort of thing. So
so it's free show. Kicks off at 2:30 p.m. is like to the doors, and then 3 p.m. the first band.
Yeah,
Inujima, who are this really cool.
I'm really keen to see them.
Yeah, they're really cool. They're like this duo, synthy and guitar kind of thing, and they're excellent. I saw them once at the Bendigo. RIP coming up. And then User, the main support, who are fantastic.
You sent me their video.
Yeah, they're really cool. So we wanted some moody kind of bands, or I did. Toby's cool with that. We wanted some sort of dark-ish, moody bands to play before us, because that's a little bit like us, and so that'll be great. And then we're on at 5 p.m. Free Last Chance Bar.
Come get your load on at 5. Just ruin your whole Saturday night. It's going to be great. Just into the floor. Just sink all the beers you can. or prep yourself for the jump ramp into the Saturday night at 5 p.m.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
That's
Absolutely.
What a warm-up. No one's doing it that time of day anyway. Come along.
So much fun in Melbourne on a Saturday night that we're sort of we're like, let's do an Arvo show. It'd be cool. Like, it'd be mix it up a bit. Like, it's just been so much on every night of the week lately.
Correct. So. The older we get, the more attractive Arvo gigs are, for sure.
I think every band that if someone had told me like any year prior to this one that all of these bands that are touring that I want to see, like Wilco, Drive-By Truckers, The Midnight, Blonde Redhead, are all touring in the same year, I would have lost my mind. So I've been spending a lot on concert tickets.
Yeah,
like a lot of
it's absolutely opened up really at the moment. And some people were questioning whether, the confidence of venues and stuff again, and the confidence of punters again being out there. Some people are tightening up because they're not really sure what's going on with all sorts of things, including interest rates and God knows what else around the corner. But talk about live for the present is my kind of word for you, and get out and see a band and a venue, because these guys need it as much as anyone. Weekends are their gigs and their weekdays. So please get out and support a band, and most importantly, get out early and support all 3 of these bands. And a free gig, but there's always merch to buy. There's always something you can help with the bandwidth. So make sure there's plenty of albums there, boys. And
well, actually, we on that note, we don't have any merch.
So the other bands will.
So just a little disclaimer. The other ones will, but can't buy our album on Bandcamp. That would be massive help, and people have been very generous. So keep it up. That's very much appreciated.
Yep, make sure you do that. And great to see you out gigging again, boys. This album cover really intrigued me. It's got that real spooky carnival. I was horrified by that sort of stuff as a kid.
Yeah.
It's funny. I found it playful. Like I didn't, but yeah, the Japanese kabuki mask or whatever it is a little bit kind of enigmatic. Is it haunting? Is it just your friend? It's slightly got a smile or whatever. That's something I bought years ago. Yeah. But the rest of it with the little pictures around it, I thought it was more playful, but I think I'm kind of a bit askew to what most people are like, man, what is this horrifying thing?
It's awesome.
Yeah, so I don't know. Also, the colors, navy, white, and blue and red, they're beautiful colors. It starts with, I was like, oh, good color palette for this song. That'll be great. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, it really was just about colors and like, all right, well, how do I hash something together? Again, making videos, to me, it's totally separate to music, but it is the reality and has been for decades. I'm not against them. For example, when I listen to a song, if someone goes, hey, I wanted you to check out this band, if they're showing me a video, I go, I don't want to see the video, just let me hear the audio because I don't want to corrupt my influence with the video, which will help me like it. Each to their own. I mean, I'll go, cool, I just want to see what I think of the music because the video will make me dislike or like it more. And I don't want that. I want the music.
Very interesting comment because, I touch on, and I understand with you guys that you feel that, the video component of, especially on an album, 2 or 3 songs at least, really helps put that, flavor out there, and it's really important. But it can also push you in a direction. So it's a real interesting mix. We've become accustomed to a 15 to 30 second attention span these days with all these reels and everything that are happening on Facebook. Yeah.
That's the environment we're in,
and it tells you like it. It tells you how long people have been watching too, just to rub, salt into the wound. And it's usually about 8 or 9 seconds. So
people check stuff out, and that's again, it's no judgment. That's the environment we're in. Yeah. I'd be exactly the same if I was born in 2000. I was 20 now, 23. That's what I've been raised at. It's not better or worse than a different generation. And anyone now who's 20 or 23, if they were born in, whenever, 1950 or 1980 or something like that, they wouldn't have had all the screen stuff. So it's not that the person is less or more. You are your environment. You are what you're taught, right? So that's what happens. And everything's very visual. And so it's like, well, we need to make something. Even if it's a still shot that's just got a vibrating effect. You go, there's a visual to put up so people won't just switch off as quick. Like, all right. And then you go, well, I might as well invest a bit more effort into it because we're doing this and making a video. But you know what I mean? They're totally separate to me. I'm like, no, I just want to hear the audio before I corrupt my senses. Literally, you are corrupting them, so to speak, with the influence of the visuals of whatever band you like or don't even know yet is put in there. Fair enough, make it. But again, for me, before I watch any visual, I just want to hear the audio. I'll just turn the screen away and go, all right, what do I think of that? What do I honestly think of that? And then I'll watch the video. I won't just not watch it. But when I first hear something, first impression, I just want the music because that's what it is. It's music. I don't care about video.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna give everyone a challenge that's listening or watching this later. Put your phone down for a second and don't look at this. We're gonna play a little bit of this clip and then you're gonna pick it up again and then you're gonna tell me creepy or not creepy with this clip.
Bring it on.
I didn't think it was.
Exactly.
There you go. You make your own call. Once you watch the rest of that clip.
I want to see a poll like now. Yes, no, creepy.
I love it. I think it's really well done. And once again, congratulations to you guys as a band and also all the people that you've had put together to make these visuals such a good part of this album. So well done.
Cheers.
Yeah,
Thank you.
man.
Thanks,
No,
Aaron.
I'm happy with that one. It's good. Looks good. The colors.
Yeah.
I really like the colors and stuff.
Very flickery.
Yeah.
So your biggest current influences, boys? Who's kind of, who are you listening to, and have you got someone that we should be, you've kind of connected with recently, or really, you're really loving, and someone you should get out and see or go and buy an album?
Oh.
Well, you were just showing me Helicopters.
No, but that's really old. I listen to lots of old stuff. Okay, so what about the groups we played with in Sydney? They were cool.
Wifey's
Wifey's great. A Sydney outfit. I'm pretty sure they've got product. And a group called Grids and Dots have got some really good stuff.
Let's go local.
Again, like those two bands, Wifey's are really good players. They've been around for a while, but really good pop, slightly, are they alt country, for lack of a better word, to try and tell someone a basic kind of vibe. But I really liked Wifey. They played at the launch in Sydney. We did up at Mosh Pit last week or 2 weeks ago. And again, I've only heard tiny bits, but I'm really keen for Saturday. And this isn't to drive it to the gig or whatever. It's just because I listen to a lot of old stuff a lot of the time. I'm too lazy with music. But the two groups that are playing this Saturday, I've only seen, I don't know, half a song originally. Like, I really liked the sounds they were putting together with the notes. You know what I mean? Like, production is cool. It doesn't have to be everything. It's all about songwriting. But sometimes you think, those sounds are really interesting, even if they're just traditional sounds, the way they put it together, that sort of stuff,
Absolutely.
And what are they called?
User and Inujima.
I liked those. Both of them. It was some interesting stuff.
I haven't seen that Inujima, but I really like the look and feel of the band, and I love something. There's something about the sound that isn't standard traditional. There's something special about it, and I haven't really grabbed it yet. So I'm interested to get along and check it out.
One more and then they're not. They're current. I love, and I was so glad because I moved here in 2016. Like, I grew up in Sydney. I moved here in 2016, so about 8 years ago, whatever that is, 7 years ago. There's a group from down here. They're not particularly busy, but I always look for their stuff called Hate Rock. So they're current. That's probably the most current thing I listen to, even though they've been around for ages. I love everything that they do. Johnny Standish is fantastic. She's just a fantastic singer and performer. I love what she does.
Yeah, I've become very obsessed with Feist, actually, on a global scale. Since about, like, I've always sort of known her music, but probably in the last, like, sort of 6 months, sometimes like an artist has been under your nose for like forever, but one day it just clicks, and I just think she's phenomenal. Like, I've really gotten morbidly obsessed just with even just her voice, and I watched this doco where she like this, I can't remember the name of it, but it was just so beautiful. It's online somewhere, and she just her process and her artistic approach is just so inspiring. And I've been watching footage of her concerts recently, and like, she does all this crazy, like, her latest album is called Multitudes, and she just has all these weird kind of visuals that she throws into her music and her live concerts as well. So that's just been, just exciting to kind of get immersed in. So love Feist. Yeah.
There you go. Check it out. Feist.
Yeah.
So obviously that's a free gig, boys. What else have you got coming up? Have you got anything planned in the next month or so, a couple of months? I know you said you don't gig that often, but
we want to go back to Sydney. That was a lot of fun. We had a launch the other week at Mosh Pit, and so it was kind of on cloud 9 a little bit coming off that. So it'd be cool to go into state a bit more, but I don't know if we'll do that. But
yeah, maybe
that was fun.
We've already got, there's about 8 songs that are, I don't know, 70, between 50 and 80% done between all of them anyway as well. So let's just do some more.
Kind of want to keep recording,
which doesn't stop shows either. So I'll do a bit of this, a bit of that, and And that will mean making more videos. But
Yeah,
anyway.
I think we've already got we've got the bones of about half an album to continue on with, which is pretty exciting. We've over the last sort of year, we've like just kept kind of chipping away at stuff. So we'll keep going with that.
Is there any songs on this new album or current album that you'd kind of like to do another version of, or was a different version that kind of made the final cut? Have you
Remix?
almost like a remix, like a different version.
Not for me, because I do most of that stuff. I'm like, no, that's good. We're leaving that like that.
Perfect. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And I try, because it's a real easy trap. I'm sure professional folks don't get stuck in this who make records for other folks, but when you're producing or mixing your own stuff, I know a lot of friends who've been doing it for years before I even dipped a toe in. And the tendency, and I'm sure that a lot of them would agree, is you have to teach yourself not to fixate on stuff and be able to let go of something. Go, no, it does sound good. Sure, I could come back and maybe tinker, but step back. For me, I step back as a fan and go, no, it sounds good. Take us, you know what I mean? Because you keep going and keep going. It's the Jay Mascis famously in some video interview years ago. He said, they're asking him about, when you record, and he said, recording at home can be slow. That's all he said. And he was talking about how he just keeps, I told him, no, that's good. Leave it. Just leave it. That's it. Next, you know what I mean? A bit. So no remixes of anything like that.
Yeah, it's really funny. Like sometimes like when I'll just be working and like I'll have the 3,000 or so songs on my phone on shuffle, and it's all the time, no kidding, like all the because all my demos and everything are on the phone, and so every second or third song that comes on shuffle is a demo of some sort, like a riff here or riff there, or a fully fledged kind of full song of a demo. And it is so funny to hear some of these songs when they come on, just how they sounded in that very infancy. And it's exciting because it's that's the moment the song was captured. So it's cool to just listen and go, oh wow, it's come such a long way since that first hit record,
Yeah.
So I get a kick out of that because I just sort of think, and also it helps me jot down notes. It helps me not forget certain ideas for songs. I might sort of write a note. Oh, I might revisit that riff or whatever. So always thinking and scheming.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the new album, Will They Come Back? It's a great cover. Talk about On Fire. That's hopefully what you guys are this Saturday. So tell me a little bit about where'd that clip or that capture come from? That photo.
Just I like to
in this house
take little photos of things or come up with ideas and go, oh, that looks really good. Just, you get an inspiration where you find it, you know what I mean? Just pottering about or whatever. So I'm sure heaps of professional photographers or whatever are like, I'm setting out to do this and they'll capture it great. But, just see little things. Oh, that might be cool. And you save it for a bit and, oh, there we go. We can do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also part of it's also like, he'll send it to me and I'll be like, I love that image. So
I'll send him some things.
Like same with the song. It's like, oh, I like that. Let's work with that or use that for something.
Yeah.
But I think that image was like immediately it felt like an album cover for me. So I think it was like high up in the priority list straight off the bat.
Won't miss that on the shelves in the record store for sure. Just got to get it on the front of the racks and it's yours.
I would love to, believe me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of time and effort, and which is good. You're like a pottery maker. All right, I made this thing that I think is great. I want people to like it. I would love to have a physical product, but it's just at the moment, we'll probably do it again at some point. You know what I mean? So
yeah, look, it's such a challenge, isn't it? Nothing's cheap these days, and especially if you're self-funding. Which most musicians these days still can't be, and definitely after COVID, 100% almost can't be. Sadly, full-time musos. And I just want to touch on this great photo. So talk about things that just happen and light and all sorts of
that's
things.
cool.
Just give us a little insight on how this one come together and where's that?
That's it. Max Watts backstage.
Max Watts,
after we played a show maybe last year. And James sent it to me. And
Might
I
have
just
been before
touched
the
it up a
show,
bit,
even
you know.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been
like
before.
just I've got a bit of time to kill. Like,
Yeah.
let's
But
take
that
some
bit of
shots.
light across the top, we have to use that. Send
Yeah.
that out for a little promo thing because it just looks cool. I
it
don't
is.
care. It doesn't have our face. Who cares? It leaves an impression. Is the point of any imagery. You know what I mean? Like, that's great. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it was purely just that coincidental lighting that off the back of the light at the back, which just kind of came through.
I'll tell you something funny. If you want to put it up on the screen again.
Yeah.
I don't normally say this sort of stuff. But, so left of James, as you look at the photo, so I'm on the right, James is on the left. You'll see below the white light, you'll see a little square white piece of paper that's stuck on the wall.
Yep.
All right. So around that, there was another sign that said toilet and something else. So I just basically get in Photoshop like, we can't have that. I'll just black a whole bunch of stuff out because it looks so much more iconic now. At first, I'm like, this photo is terrible. I got to crop it.
Yeah, almost like we can't use it because of that.
So,
but
but the rest of the image was so good. It's like, oh, that's easy. We'll just do that. There we go. It's a bit of cheating, but it was cool. It's still good image. Good.
No one needs to know.
No, they do now. But anyway, normally I'm very
little
tight
backstory.
Stuff. I was like, oh, it's funny.
Yeah. Well, in that case, no one needs to know about those little dud-us, but everyone needs to know about you guys, Fleeting Persuasion. So please get out and see these boys. Starting off Saturday, if you can get there. The last chance, rock and roll bar. It's not your last chance. Go out and get there, and then maybe go down to the Tote afterwards.
Yeah, do both.
Absolutely.
And down to the Bendigo, and there's so many great venues along there. The Gem, Luli's Tavern, it's all happening at the moment. And then after that, who knows? Swing back past the Cherry Bar. So there you go. There's your Saturday night planned, and well into the early hours of Sunday morning. So boys, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thank you, Aaron, and thanks for all the effort you go to. It's amazing.
It's awesome. Really
I've seen a couple of the episodes you do, but I'll be revisiting a lot more and watching the future ones too. It's so great.
Yeah, thanks for the kind words, and you're welcome anytime. Anytime something's on, please shoot me some stuff. And thanks to Chris Familton again for organising this and an unbelievable suite of bands that he kind of represents.
Yeah. It's kind of an honour to have the old Chris at the helm. It's fantastic. He's been
it helps a great deal.
A friend kind of for quite a number of years. So when he kind of went into publicity, it was like, hell yeah. Like, he's just so great at what he does and gives it his all. And he's got a fine taste in music and a lovely dude.
Yeah, it's an incredibly important part of the release part of music and pushing things out there and getting a really nice, tight press release, all the details and media.
Makes it look so good. Yeah.
Does a great job. Makes my job easy because I've got some content. I hope you don't mind me going through your Bandcamp and stealing a few images here and there. And it's great to have a chat. And thanks to everyone involved that you've put together some killer clips here. Long may they continue. And please check out Fleeting Persuasion, Google it, and get on Bandcamp. Purchase something, and most importantly, gift one onto a friend. I really think that's a cool idea on Bandcamp.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, word of mouth.
Organic, it's nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Right, boys. Good luck on Saturday. Hope to see you there. And things are global for sure for you guys. You're on your way. So if you can get over to Canada, I'm sure Rob will facilitate a gig out there.
I need some of what you've got, definitely. That optimism, and that's awesome. No, truly, I'm not trying to, it's great.
No worries. All right, boys.
Thanks, buddy. Okay, bye.
How good was that to have a chat to the boys from Fleeting Persuasion? Some really nice guys there, James and Toby. Incredible talents, and boy, have I had some talented people involved in putting together some killer videos and stuff for them. So Saturday afternoon, 2:30 doors, 3 o'clock kind of kickoff, 3 bands, free. What else can you ask for on a Saturday afternoon in Melbourne? Please get out there and see it. Straight after this show, jump on, flick the TV on and follow this close game of footy. It's half time. Just to give you a little insight, the Blues are down by a point against the Tigers, so it's going to be a close one. Jump on and check it out. Thanks to everyone involved in this show. Thanks for coming on board. A couple of gigs coming up in the next few days. Go and see them. And most importantly, get out there and catch up with a friend in person. See you soon. Have a great week.